Was justice served? 22 and a half years. The maximum that was desired was 40. The bid on the table was 30. The sentence was 22 and a half years, of which two-thirds after being served, he could get out. Um, I'm feeling some kind of way about it. Okay. I'm feeling conflated. And I want to talk about, does whiteness protect itself? Okay. Because had it been a black man, and you can look at, I have the reports to prove it. Had it been a black man, it would have been more likely that he would have received the maximum time, which would have been 40 years. Mandatory minimum. Okay, so he did serve time, but also that historically, we've never had a point like this where white men or a white policeman has been held to account. But is it enough? Hi, I'm Dr. Beanie Shah, Miss Millionaire. And today I want to talk about justice for George, or systematic racism protecting his own. Okay. And before I go all the way in, because I'm gonna keep it as light as I can so I don't carry it heavy. But before I go all the way in, please make sure you share, you tag, you subscribe. Hot Mess Millionaire. If you want to learn how to network like a money mogul, please go to hotmessmillionairefacebook.com and join that group. We do it every Saturdays. We teach you how to network like a mogul, or you get the opportunity to network. For those of you who want to stay in the loop of my tech startup that I am going to be launching very soon, Jesus, there's a link here in the notes with the link to the Facebook group, as well as to information about my app that's coming, and it's glorious. So I want to make sure I get all my announcements in, okay? And I'm going to invite you to go ahead and start tagging people, sharing with people, because this conversation, I'm gonna take it deep, okay? And I want to take it deep in a way that we don't normally take it. I want to talk about this sentence in terms of protection, okay? So I'm just trying to see how to enter, God. I'm just trying to see how to enter, so I enter soft. George was hard for me. When George was publicly executed, it changed me. It changed me in a way that I wasn't even prepared for. Okay, and it changed me in the sense of the brazenness that Derek had of looking in the camera with his hand in his pocket as he literally kneeled his weight on this black man's neck over a fake $20 bill charge. Okay, that messed me up. Not because I hadn't seen violence, but it was the cavalierness. It was the brazenness of it. It was the boldness of, yeah, I'm doing it. What? You can't stop me of it. That actually broke my brain. Not because I don't know history, not because I'm not educated. Y'all know this. I'm down for that. I'm an identity theorist. You know, my whole thing is slavery, history, cultural trauma, the African slave, all of that, right? So that's my jam. But the thing that broke my brain was how confident he was in his right to take a black life. That was the thing that blew my brain apart. And I'm like, okay, God, what, who told him it was okay? How could he be so confident that there would be no repercussion? There would be no accounting, that he could stand. There are a lot of people around saying, dude, he can't breathe. He can't breathe. He's screaming for his mother. He is saying, I can't breathe. And this man, Derek, decided that he didn't care for 9 minutes and 20 some odd seconds. He was okay with that. And he didn't care about us filming him. I'm like, okay, God, help me understand, how is that okay? Who must he be? What must he understand that I don't understand? That he could do this. That he could do this in front of the world. What did I miss? What book did I not read? What class did I not sit sit in on? What in the streets did not prepare me for the level of brazen audacity to take a Black life midday, high sun, in front of the world being videotaped? That broke my brain. It just broke my heart. It broke everything in me. And I mean, and I've known, you know, tragedy. I've known tragedy. We've known all of that, but we never saw this. We never saw this. Not a full 9 minutes and so on seconds of this. You see what I'm saying? And so that changed me. But there's a pre-George and there's a post-George. There's a pre-George Dr. Venus and there's a post-George Dr. Venus. Everything changed because I understood something that changed me that won't let me go home, that won't let me rest, that won't let me just go back to business as usual. And it is this. How is it that in 2020, a police officer who's supposed to serve and protect all of us, how is it that he could have the assuredness, the confidence, the arrogance to know that he could get away with it? That changed me because I'm like, okay, God, I'm living in a false world. I'm talking about fairness, equality, inclusion, diversity. This is the stuff I was saying before George. Before George, that's what I was saying. After George, I'm like, hold on, Jesus. Help me understand how he could do this with the arrogance of knowing he's not going to be held to account. Now, I want you to know, I've never been political. I'm not even good at politics. I'm too passionate. I got too much of an edge on me. I never even thought about it until George. But it was his gaze. It was his hand in his pocket that got me. He looked in the camera like, yeah, what? What you going to do? Nothing. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. The cops are going to follow my lead and they're going to back me up. All of that was in his unsaid. So I'm like, okay, Jesus, help me understand how he could be so confident that he's not going to get caught on this. And then we marched. The world march. I mean, from Iceland to Antarctica. I mean, the world march. And everybody, my lying eyes could not see it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, okay, we've come together, social change. We're marching, we're doing everything. We got our flags. White women are making a human line of defense against any kind of police brutality. I cried when white women put their bodies on the line for Black bodies. That still is like, I never imagined that. Never saw it in history. Never saw it. I've seen us link arms when we march across Selma, but I've never seen a wall of white women put their physical, arm in arm, put their physical bodies in front of Black bodies and say, you cannot touch them. We have never been protected in this country. So when I saw that, I'm thinking, oh my God, change is here. Change is here. And I believe we had change. You understand? I believe that. I really, really sincerely did. And then the election happened. And I found out that 56% of white women voted for Trump. Now, I want you to be very clear. I ain't got nothing going on about Trump. I got some shit going on about white women who voted for him after they put their bodies on the line for me because I felt like I had gotten duped. I had been bamboozled. I had been lied to. I'm like, how you going to march with me but vote for him? I couldn't make that make sense. I couldn't make it make sense until now. So this is what I've been doing ever since George. I turned all of my platforms over to social change, specifically focusing on police reform. That is my jam. And I am not going to stop talking about race until the George Floyd Police Reform Act is passed. Then I'm going to go back to marketing. Okay. In the meantime, all of my stuff is rooted in making sure the police don't kill us. Now, I didn't understand that I would have to go and understand how come the police could kill us and how come white people were voting the way they were voting. I had to go learn about white people. Now, I'm an educated chick. I have 4 degrees. I'm a best-selling author. I thought I knew some things. I was wrong. I knew about racism because that was what we talked in our own circles. As Black people, we talk about different things, just like Italians talk about what they talk about and Jews talk about what they talk about. All right? But I'm gonna tell you, when George got dead, I had to start thinking about what the hell is he thinking that he can do this, and no Black person I know would ever have that kind of brazen confidence with no fear of retaliation. It's sort of like the insurrection. Those white people, whether it was accidental or whether it was Antifa, whatever way, they had the audacity to storm the Capitol. There is no Black person in the history of this country who would go do that action. We'll do some other things, but we would never do that action because you would have to be brazen to think that you would live through it. Okay? So only white people, whether it was accidental, whether they were tourists, whether they were white supremacists, I don't care. They were white. They were white. And the way they were handled were like, they weren't handled with all the military gear. They were handled like tourists, like nice people. Never mind that they were vandalized, and never mind that they were being awful. None of that mattered because it was a white body, right? So when I started looking, okay, God, what the hell am I missing? And I realized what I was missing is this. I've been focusing on me. I've been focusing on racism. I've been focusing on the impact of whiteness, white supremacy, the slavery, Reconstruction. I've been looking at it from my point of view. I had never looked at it from theirs, ever. And because I hadn't, I got duped. I got tricked. I got lulled into complacency. I got into the kumbaya. We are the world. I was holding hands. I'm thinking, okay, we in this together, but we're not. And let me help you understand what I mean. You see, the reason Derek could be so brazen is because he understood something that most Black people would never educated in, which is this. As a white person, I have every law, every privilege, every institution. I have everything on my side. Everything. Whether it's the law, whether it's the circuit court, whether it's the prosecution, whether it's the defendant, whether it's traffic, whether it's written down, whether it's implied, whether I can see it or not, as a white male body, I got this on lock. In the streets, we would say it a whole nother way, okay? But the point is, he knew that. He knew he had immunity. He knew that Black people, that the police were going to back him up. He knew that this is not the first time. He got 19 cases on him about him doing some bullshit as a cop. And he got away with it 19 times before he got to George. 19 times. 19, not 9, 19. So he already had the arrogance of like, I done done this. This is what I do. This is how I do my thing. And that, my friend, is the rub. So what I finally figured out that actually makes it all make sense is that I was focusing on racism, and racism is not real for white privilege. Now, I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about an ideology. I'm talking about a way of moving and seeing the world. There are Black white supremacists, Candace Owens, Kanye West, Ice Cube, you know them. And it's not even, I don't think of it as a bad thing. I think of it as literally how they see the world. So I'm not tripping off of that. But I never saw that. I actually thought that because we were looking at ABC, Fox, NBC, we were reading books, textbooks, I actually thought we were in the same conversation. I thought we were on the same page. I thought we were in the same world, and I was wrong. Let me help you understand what I mean. So when you have someone like a Derek who can take the actions he can only take those actions because they've already been sanctioned. And the way they've been sanctioned is not through Derek, but through society. And when they've been sanctioned through society, it's not just the laws, it is the social norms that say as a cop, as a police, you have the right to take life, especially if it's Black, because it's legal. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Go read. Don't ever take my word for it. Go read. Read. He has legal rights. And he knows he has qualified immunity, meaning that he can always say, my life was in danger. I had to, no matter what. And they lie. But because all the books are set up in favor of them, we don't stand a chance. And because we've been looking at the effect of slavery, not the driver of slavery. Do you see the difference? If you're living at the effect of it, you're not looking at what's driving it. I was living at the effect of the institution of slavery in my own bloodline. We have poverty. We have addictions. We have all kinds of health things because all of that is a fallout of slavery. And I know white people don't always get that, and that's fine. I'm not talking about my allies. I'm talking about my friends. I love you. You know I love you. But there are people saying, why are you talking about the past? I said, because the past shapes the present. That's why. It shapes my life. I'm the first person in my bloodline, not even my family, my bloodline, who's ever graduated from high school. I'm not even talking about college. My bloodline, since we got to America, I am the first person in my bloodline to graduate from high school, college. So when you say the past has impact the present, you're ignoring really that my blood did not have a shot at college until I was 19, until 1990. Okay? And that's my mother, my father, like all the way back. So you can't talk to me about like, oh, slavery's over. I'm not saying slavery isn't here. I'm saying the impact and the institutions of slavery are still in play. And if we don't understand that, we keep thinking we're free. And we're not. Because the way that the structure is played out, because Derek showed it to us clearly, when he kneeled for 9 minutes and some odd seconds, is this. White supremacy as an ideology is a, how can I say this, God? Help me say it soft. Is rooted in positioning yourself as superior. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Girl, you ain't gonna believe this. This broke my brain. I found out that there is a Confederate Bible. Girl, let me help you understand what I'm trying to articulate. After emancipation, okay, there's a season called Reconstruction where they were trying to get things back together, okay? Lincoln got dead. The folks in Washington wanted to make nice with the Southerners, with the Confederacy, try to mend some bridges, and they did not enforce what Lincoln had designed in terms of giving Black people the opportunity of free slaves a shot at literally being citizens in America, okay? They didn't follow through on it. They withdrew the troops from the South, which made room for the Black Codes and the Ku Klux Klan to do their thing, okay? So we know that part. This is the shit that fucked me up. There is a Bible, girl, after the Civil War, there's a Bible. I bought it and I will show it to you. I'll do a live stream on it. I'm gonna take pictures and show it to you. And in their Bible, the Confederate Bible, they have all the presidents at the beginning of the Bible. They have all their soldiers at the beginning of the Bible. They have American life at the beginning of the Bible. They literally have the Bible as the basis of what it means to be American. Now, I need you to understand how this works. You take that Confederate Bible and you combine it with the Daughters of the Confederacy, which is a social group of white women. They couldn't vote. You see what I'm saying? But they could raise money, build monuments, and do textbooks and parades and monuments to show their children that their men were good men. They were heroes, that they didn't really lose the war. Okay? Now, you take the Bible, you take the Confederate Bible with the teachings and the monuments to their children from the Daughters of the Confederacy, you combine them, and what you get is fanaticism. What you get is a group of people who are trained to relate to themselves as God. Now, it's not like they would say that, but if you look at it, you'll start to see that if you're using religion to indoctrinate your children into that you won a war that you lost, to demonstrate, to save face for how your men are thought of later on in life, and you build monuments around them saying they fought with valor. Yeah, they fought with valor, but they minimized slavery. They said it didn't really happen. It was girl. They said it was a positive experience for Black people, that we wanted it, that we had fried chicken and watermelon and picnics, and we were laughing and singing. It's in their books. So that indoctrination creates a level of belief, a level of passion, a level of I will die for that which I take personal, which is my country, which is my flag, which is my right as an American. All of that comes from that Bible and those chicks. And that got into their schools. It never got to us because we never got that education. I want you to know, I have 4 degrees. I ain't never in my life, ever in my life, heard of a Confederate Bible until this week. But because I'm deconstructing how we can't get ahead, I'm understanding we've been fighting the wrong fight. We're talking about racism. There's no race to them because we're not real to them. We don't see color. They really don't see color. What they see is opportunity. You are an opportunity for them to make money. You're an opportunity for them to know themselves as powerful. You're an opportunity to know themselves as big or better. You are not human. You are you are a mirror of what they want to know themselves as, because that's what the slave does. You can't have a master without a slave. You always have to have someone under you in order for you to know someone who's over you. So when Derek kneeled, he wasn't killing George. He was exerting his power to demonstrate that he could do whatever he wanted to with a black body. And that has been historical for black bodies since we got here, okay? So until we as a people, and I want you to hear my word on this, sis, until we get ourselves oriented and knowing our opponent, I'm gonna put this in the notes. I forgot to put it. I saw T.D. Jakes. He did this amazing, amazing sermon called Anointed for the Altercation. And he was in that teaching, he talks about, it's so good. He talks about no boxer gets in the ring without studying their opponent. No boxer is going to get into a ring and not know who they're fighting. We get into the ring thinking we know who we're fighting based on what they've told us, but they didn't tell us the whole story. They don't even want us to teach the whole story. They're trying to make critical race theory a bad thing when they haven't even looked it up. They don't know about the 1619 Project. They have no idea. They just take pieces of it and make it extreme because that's what a fanatic does. They make it, when you're indoctrinated into any kind of cult, okay, then of course you got to go from, if someone steps on your shoe, instead of saying, oh, my bad, you shoot them. That's a cult move. That is what that looks like. So they have their own education. They have their own school systems. When we had integration, Black teachers lost their jobs. They had all the Black kids bus to the white schools, to the white teachers. Did y'all not catch that? Black teachers, they didn't bus the white people to Black schools. They bust us to them. So we're going through their teaching, their education. And it's all of that. They get to say what we read. They get to say what we can't read. Now they're saying we can't even educate our kids in public schools where we pay the fucking taxes. We can't educate them about actually what happened because it's going to make their children feel guilty, make their children feel bad. Never mind that our children are dying on the vine because we don't know who we are. And I'm not okay with that. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think justice was served, but not because of the sentence. I think justice was not served because we haven't dealt with how we're going to turn this. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think we can turn it in terms of their systems. I think we have to create our own. I'm not leaving America. I love my country. I'm a patriot. I serve my country in the military. So if anybody feels a need to tell me to go back to Africa, fuck yourself. How about that? Because that's not my home. This is my home. And in America, the benefit of America is capitalism. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So I'm going to pimp the Jesus out of it. I'm working on cursing, y'all. Good luck. Pray for me. My point is that as Black people, their systems are all built for them. And we keep acting like if we march, if we how do you say, if we petition, if we do anything, they'll eventually give it to us. They haven't. The anti-lynching bill has been around since 1922. Take the case, they're not going to pass it. So it's still legal. You can still lynch somebody and not go to jail because it's on the books. It's on the books. Okay? So I'm not tripping off that no more. Not a problem, God. I love you. You know what you're doing. We got this. I say we need to have our own platforms. And so that is why I'm building my own digital platform. And I'm talking to another streaming platform, Black woman who owns her own streaming platform, Apple, Roku, all that kind of stuff, about like partnering. So we have our own outlets to have the conversations that we can't have because they always come in. Have y'all not noticed this yet? They come in, they troll us, or they troll me. Let me say that different. They troll me and they just start up, they start up havoc, or they try to start up havoc. They really can't. But the point is, we don't have a safe space just to tell the truth, to collaborate without their influence. We don't need their money. Listen, sis, we have a buying power. That doesn't mean we have the cash. We have a buying power of $3.8 trillion. We do not need white people's money. We don't need it. We don't need it. And I'm not saying go buy Black. I'm not saying all that. I'm saying we need to create products and services that are so compelling to us that we naturally buy them. that they actually do, that it's a good product. It's not about loyalty. It's about a good product. Just like I'm into cocoa butter. I'm into Palms cocoa butter. That's my stuff. I do it. My dog. I love that stuff. I buy that stuff by the barrel. I buy Epsom salt by the barrel. I like MAC lipstick. I like my iPhone. I don't know. Whatever I like, I buy it because it gives me something I need. You see what I'm saying? So we need to create products for that or services. There's some apps that I really love. I love Calm because they have at least 70 different types of rain. They got the soft rain, the winter rain, the water rain, the windblown rain, and they all work for me. My point is, I'm committed to creating a safe space for Black women to tell the truth, to get educated, to be restored, to be empowered, to understand how to make your money, how to make your own paper, how to do you, and never, ever, ever have to go to or through white structures ever again. I'm fucking done with this. I'm done. I am not playing at this. And if I have to die if this takes me the rest of my living breath days of life, I'm here for it. Because until we take on our money, the same way we take on being offended by whiteness, we will always be a slave because they control all the highways. They control all the news channels. And I'm not even saying it's a bad control. I'm saying that whoever wins the war writes the story. So I'm not playing in the war no more. As soon as I can I'm moving everything onto my own platform. And I'm telling you right now, when I release it, come with me. Because if you think I'm talking smack right now, wait till I get onto my own platform. And I'm going to tell you all kinds of stuff that's going to set you on fire and have you make your paper, have you heal the history between you and your men, have you be able to forgive your mama. All of that I can do. I can't do it here because there's too many ears, too many eyes. They don't understand, they don't understand code switching. They don't understand any of that. And they don't need to because it's not for them. It's for you, sis. It's for you, bro. It's for you, fam. It's for you. It's not for them. So they don't get the goodies. They can see what I'm talking about, but they don't get to come into the house. You see what I'm saying? And when I'm in the house, I'm going to hook you up with some stuff to help you get free in ways you didn't know you needed it. And I'm talking historically, emotionally, and economically. Because until we actually have our own space where we can actually tell the truth and clear out the hot, get the heat done. I almost always am hot before my heat covers my hurt. Once I get past the heat, the hurt comes through, I heal the hurt, and then I'm able to see the opportunity set. But if you and I don't have a space where we can commune and get through the heat to actually do the healing, to create the opportunity set, we have to depend on them. And that's what they want. They didn't want us to read because they didn't, and I can see why now, because the stuff they were saying wasn't true. They don't want to update the textbooks unless it fits their white world. We're not doing that. And of course we can homeschool you. I'm here for all of that. I'm here for all of that. All of that. But until we have our own highways, our own distribution, our own money, that's when we keep our dollar in our neighborhood, in our community, when we do that, now we're taking our money from them. Do you understand that? When you and I take our buying power from Neiman Marcus, from Nike, from, I don't know, Whole Foods. I'm just making up things right now, okay? And we actually use it in a different way, they lose money. Do you understand? They depend on our money, y'all. They depend on us to buy from them. Well, if that's the case, let's not do that. Let's buy from us. But that means the product has to be excellent. That means we have to actually be able to figure out certain things, and we can. I'm not the only one saying this. There's Jamal Bryant. He's a pastor. He's doing something on Labor Day. They're doing a new Black Wall Street in Atlanta. I'm here for it all the time. Tam Lawrence, she's doing her own digital platform over there. We got influencers who are doing their own products, whether it's wigs, whether it's makeup, whether it's whatever. And I'm going to have some of them on my platform doing exclusive content just for my people. This is happening. This is happening. And they can kick and scream and they can say bad things and they can be awful and ugly. But change is here. And we are the change that we want to see in the world. Okay? So be encouraged, boo. Sis, this is real. And I'm sorry that we had to lose George to wake up. But we woke now. We woke now. At least I am. And I'm not remotely interested in us ever needing to go through white structures and hope for favoritism, hope for a break. My creatives are always hoping for a break. How about we just fund it ourselves? How about that? How about we learn how to capitalize on capitalism and systematically make our own money? And the thing is, we've already done it before. So I'm not saying it like we haven't. So please hear me. I'm not saying it like that. But they just burnt it down. They've been burning it down since we got here. So I'm not suggesting we did something wrong. We did everything right. They kept burning it down. I'm committed to building something they can't burn down. So I'm building my real estate in the cloud. I'm out to put culture in the cloud. That is what I'm doing. And there are other people who are doing real estate. There are other people doing other things. People are building churches and buildings, and all that's awesome. My job, what God has trained me for is making money, not from what you do, but from what you know. And that's all I ever do. And that's what I teach my women. Okay. And for my brothers, don't be jealous. I got to start with the women, because when you change a woman, you change the community. She'll take care of you. I promise you. She'll make sure you get down with it. And as soon as I get this business up, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for all of my people. I'm coming for my trans. I'm coming for my Asians. I'm coming for my Latinas. I'm building out, I'm putting, y'all watch me. Watch me. I'm not playing about this. And I got an extraordinary team behind me that can produce. So this is a real word. So again, I don't think justice was served in terms of George, not because of the jail sentence. That's not even my concern anymore, because I think that's too small. It's more along the lines of, until we have bills in place, legal things in place for police to be held to account, to me, it's just an empty gesture. It's an empty gesture. And I know it has significance. I don't want to poo-poo on it. Yes, it's a significant difference, because his boys did turn on him. His police chief did throw him under the bus. He was counting on them to treat him good, and they didn't. And it's only 16 people in the last some odd years, police officers have ever been convicted. So it is a big deal. So I don't want y'all I'm not minimizing that. I know it's a big deal. And I'm praying that for all my lawyers and my politicians, they can leverage that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a politician. I'm a business. I'm a business man. Okay. And so my job is to help you monetize so you can fund your politicians. You can fund your hospitals. You can fund your barbershops without having to go to them for a jacked up loan. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. I want you to have whatever you want, but you don't have to go through them. We should have our own banks. We should have our own lending. We should have all of that. And we did. We did. So please don't hear it like we're not capable. We're more than capable. But again, they get mad, they've gotten jealous, and they burnt it. They won't be able to do that this time. Not this way. The world has changed. And whether or not I like how long it's taken it, I can do things now that I couldn't do 10 years ago because of change, because of technology. And in the most bizarre and morbid way, because of George. I wouldn't be this hot if I didn't see George go down like that. I don't know, God activated something in me that got released like, oh, hell no. If Black people want to take on marching, I'm taking on our money. Because until we have our money, we will always be enslaved. And that is a real word. So sister, hear me when I tell you this. You are God wrapped in flesh. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and not the last. You are the head and not the tail. You are whole, you are complete, you are divine, you are perfect, you are everything that's good and right about being alive. You're precious and you're priceless. And my job is to get you to stand. I need you to stand. I need you to stand up for yourself and deal with their opinions and deal with their ugly. Their ugly is not a match for your bigness. God would not start a work in you that wasn't complete. It can't be done. And you already know who you are. I'm not talking to everybody, but the ones who are mine, my truth tellers, the ones who can hear my voice, you know what I'm saying. You need to leave that job. You need to plan your exit strategy. You need to start dealing with, okay, what kind of business am I down for? What kind of entrepreneurship do I want to do? What can I do? How can I bring in money on the side? How do I monetize this? How do I get out of that job? You need to be doing that, because if you do not get yourself oriented around having your own within the next 10 to 20 years, you won't have a choice. Because we are now in a digital age. We're no longer in a service age. We're not in an industrial age either. And if you don't learn how to bring in money from your knowledge, you will be in a caste system. that is 7 generations in the making. And I bullshit you not about this. Look it up for yourself. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe me. I don't want you to. I want you to read and get your own revelation. But take this as a call to arms, boo, because if this is where we are in 2021, and we don't take on educating our children and our nieces and nephews, they're going to be dealing with what we've been dealing with now that our ancestors dealt with 100 years ago. I'm not having it. Not on my watch. I'll die first. It's going to take me a minute, but we're going to do this. And I'm out to do my first 100 billionaires in the next 5 years. And I'm starting that now. And I may fail at that. I want you to be very clear. I may fail at that. I may only get a couple of them. I may only get like 3 billionaires done, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. I mean, I hit my mark, but if I play for it, if I play for it, I'll go further than if I said, okay, I just want to get a couple of million in. I've already done 5 million. It's time to do a billion. And it's time to get y'all to see how we can. If we can spend $1 trillion, we can make $1 billion. Is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, I'll make sure it's fair. Okay, all hearts and minds are clear. Okay, I'm pulling it back. I'm pulling it back. I'm falling back. I'm falling back, God. I'm falling back. I'm falling back. I'm falling back. Deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Come on, breathe with me, sis. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Come, Holy Spirit. God bless God. It's all good. It's all good. God is faithful. God is faithful. God is always faithful. I love you, sis. I love everything about you. You're perfect. You're perfect, and we're doing this. Okay? I believe in you. I trust you. I know you got this. So we're going to finish it. We're going to finish strong. Okay? You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. Okay? You are. You always have been. So I'm going to surrender the mic. I'm going to be doing a talk tonight on Fox Soul TV. The link is around here somewhere. I'll put it in the notes just to make sure. If you want to come join me, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be talking about pride. It's going to be awesome because I got some great topics to talk about if you want to get all up in the cut. And if you're fed by this word, this life-altering word, life-giving word, please pay it forward. Please share. Sharing is an act of love. No one is talking in what I'm talking on any platform at all. No one is. And I didn't curse that much. I did good. I did good. So, share the word. They can look at it or not, but if you don't share it, they'll never know. They'll be stuck in what the media says about us, and it's not the truth of us. It's not the truth of us, sis. It's just not. Okay? But I need you to be willing to share. If you were fed by this on any level, then share it. Don't be stingy. Don't keep it to yourself. Push it out. And again, you can always say, look, she got a potty mouth, but she's brilliant. Or you can say, she talks like smack, ignore that, just get the message. Do what you got to say. Or just pass and let them figure it out. They may like the topic, they may not like the topic. But I'm saying, please empower me to empower us. I can't do this without you, and I wouldn't want to. And for my brothers and my allies, please share. Please. We can win at this, but I need you to help me reach the world. Okay? Okay, so that's my request. And the last thing I want to share before I go, 2 last things before I wrap up this particular broadcast. Well, 3. 1, thank you for walking with me. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for being with me. This has been something. There's been a lot of attacks lately. A lot of attacks from white people, from Black women, from Black men, and none of it's personal. But I appreciate your loyalty. Thank you for walking with me, and so thank you for covering me. My men are covering me. It's just gorgeous. My women are standing up for me, and I appreciate it. I feel like God is really preparing me to reach the world in ways that I didn't know I needed for preparation for. So I want to tell you, thank you for empowering my word in the world. Thank you for thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for accepting me just as I am, imperfect as I am. And thank you for loving me. I'm clear you love me, and I love you too. So please know that I love you. And anything I say is from a space of love. There's a lot of passion here, but there's no anger. Okay? I love you, and I will fight for you. And if I have to, I'll fight you for you, because you're worth fighting for. Okay? You really are. You're worth You're worth fighting for. If Jesus can die for you, I can fight for you. Okay? And that's just how it is for me, Black woman. So that's all I got for now. Know that you're loved. And and please remember this, my sweet, precious, priceless, beautiful, magnificent, brilliant sister in success. You are worth so much more than you have ever, ever been taught to believe. This is Dr. Venus, your hot mess millionaire. I love you, sis. I love you, bro. I love you, allies. I love you, fam. Um, I just love you. Thank you for walking with me. Goodbye for now.